So Shavy FS Hub, looking at the close of Friday, and we look at the structure to see what price is doing. It becomes a thing of importance to look at the broader perspective. So we chose 2 hours time frame to give us a clear directional bias as to where SAU is going, and we were right on a couple of trades. I predicted a copper buy. Go check copper buy. I said copper was going to buy, copper bought, and also predicted the head and shoulder structure of silver, which brought a significant drop in silver before silver buyers rallied up again. And for gold, we were quite spot on too on the structure of gold. And but let's look at it in a more holistic way. This is a learning process, so there are bound to be little deviations. So as we see deviations, we'll come online and correct it as fast as possible to maintain a correct track record. So all we do here is educational purpose and look at structure of market and interpret it in a way that it will bring you profit. So we look at the structure in 2 hours. We'll see the first thing we want to look at is the floor and the roof. So we have to use here as a supply roof, which is also very important. So when we say supply roof are areas where price have found a sell potential, and if it becomes consistent, then we make it a psychological supply roof. If for every time price come at a level, it all it displays sell, all the character it displays in a level is sell, then we can call it a psychological level, meaning it's already in our memory. So we will now look at it on that psychological level. Does it have the ability to play demand and supply? Every trend line have two characteristics, demand and supply characteristics. So that is why on a trend line, we call it ROS. ROS means resistance becomes support on break of structure. So what it means is that this resistance level have dual function. I call it a supply roof and ROS level. The same thing with the accompanying one. They are all ROS level and also a supply roof. They are all ROS level and a supply roof. So when he repeats this character 3, 4 times, then I call it a psychological trend line. It's psychological in the sense that it's doing something that is worthy of note and it's not willing to change. Then we look at the trend angle and see how far price will maintain that angle and when price intend to deviate from that angle. When they deviate from angle, you change your structure, you change your chart, means that the market makers have changed that route. The reason they do this is because this is not a playground for children. It's not a playground for unserious people. So the idea is that they always try to, play smart in a price movement. So all we track here is the movement of price using the structure. So we have at the top layer, whenever price is playing above, it's on demand floor. If it's playing above, if it's play when price is playing below, it's on supply roof, and when it's playing above, it's on demand. So we have here now a break of structure. What structure was broken? Look at the structure: ROS1, ROS2, ROS3, ROS4. Structure broken. Price return here as SR. So what is SR? SR is support become resistance. SR become resistance on break of structure. And what else is SR? It's a support floor. So it has dual function. The first function is SR. SR is support where price found the strength for uptick. So we go on to look at other SR levels that we can see on the 2 hour time frame. Price came here, respected the same structure that we have on this ascending trend line, which we call ETL. Ascending trend line. I said every trend line have dual purpose. When a trend line have a dual purpose, then we look at how many times price react on it. If the number of times that price react on that trend line it's enough, we can call it a psychological trend line. It is psychological because of the character. What character? If price is playing above it, is playing above it as a support, it breaks it, return to it as resistance. If you play it on multiple times, we call it a psychological trend line. It is worthy of note. So that means we'll be looking at that structure. All we are looking at in that structure to see whenever we see a breakout. For example, this is an ascending trend line. We cannot call it a psychological trend line until we see the character. And price came here, displayed the resistance, displayed the resistance, displayed the resistance, displayed the resistance four times. This is enough. After the support structure here, you can see a support structure with a very strong rejection week on 2 hours. Break of the structure, price came on retest. There is no way you could find this angle on your own without looking left. If you look left, you will find a structure here. You see here, you will see a very strong 1, 2, 3, 2 hours consolidation. The 2 hours consolidation forms a horizontal resistance structure that was broken. So you see on technical, this is a resistance structure that was broken on 2 hours. That was what gave birth to this. This is also a valid floor, 2660. This is a valid floor for price to return in the future. It's a very valid floor. We have here one, two, three. 2 hours consolidation three times. 2 hours consolidation. This is a 2 hours sell, 2 hours buy, 2 hours sell. Price rejected, came down again, sold off, came down again, sold off. So this level is also very important for us in the future. But let us faint it for now. We don't want to look at it to limit the number of lines we have in our chart. So I'll be looking at this from another perspective. So we'll maintain this line. I want to maintain it. I want to maintain it. We'll maintain this structure. We'll maintain it. It's not important for now. That's a too much bearish drop. But we will maintain it for future purpose. So we want to see what happens here so that we won't forget it. Yeah, 2660 into 2659. It's a very strong level. You can see it. If we make a zone out of it, we expect that price should come here and give us another bullish reaction. Look at the structure, a very good consolidation time. So if we make a zone out of this and allow price to return into this zone, it's a win for sure. This is a winning level. So anything from 2663 into 2660 is a win based on the structure. You have here 2 hours consolidation. Price sold, returned buy, rejected, sold, came back, sold again, came back, sold again, sold, then break the structure and left. Very important level. So we must keep this in our structure. Let's keep it. We're not going to throw it away. So I like to leave it like this. And although it's already messing our chart up, but let's keep it in mind because there are so many things that you forget as you go on. So let's keep this structure for price to return. So for now, let's move on with our structure. So we have here price return on SR. Now price due to price tapping into a top layer resistance structure. This top layer resistance structure, we anticipated it because it's a retest to a long-term breakout. Yeah, that was how we got this. But for now, let's focus on the current 2 hours price action since we already have 2 points and we know how we got this number. We got this from a higher time frame chart. We got this from our daily chart. This resistance structure was got from our daily chart. So for now, let's focus on 2 hours price action and use it to look at the market in a broader term. So now we see here, we have here a swing, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. The low is a break of structure. You can see when the low was smashing down, what did it break? It broke the previous resistance. As it broke the previous resistance, what should it do? A retest of a broken resistance. Can you see here? Higher high, higher low. The next higher high broke the structure. What structure was broken? The resistance structure. When it returned, it respected it. And when it tapped into a new all-time high, a lot of bearish order blocks exist at this level. Based on our daily chart, we got this level our daily chart and we're still holding it. Price used that momentum to break the structure. What structure was broken? A previous retested support structure. Price broke it. And on return, it respected it. He respected that structure. What structure did he respect? A broken support becomes resistance. So we are going to make our interchange. We have here a support structure. Here is a support structure. And here is a resistance. So like we say, every trend line, whether ascending, whether horizontal, whether descending, must have an interchange property. Ability to function as SR and ability to function as RS. So if we are holding the structure responsible as RS, and that RS is broken, it becomes SR. If we are holding SR accountable and SR is broken, it becomes RS. So it must have a dual function. It's a must. And if it happens over a time, it becomes a psychological trend line. So we watch out for it. So we see here we have a resistance structure, price dropped, came up, respected the level, that resistance level, with a small red candle close of 2 hours, got impulse. What impulse did it get? We have a structure, an ascending trend line, where price has tapped into as a result of breaking out from the resistance structure to use as a support. So the impulse is a very strong impulse leg with ability to push price and break resistance structure, and it did. But first of all, respected the structure. Respected the structure, then came down and used it as support. So it becomes our SR. So when price now tapped into a higher order block region where we have a strong bearish order, the bearish order became a strong correction leg that broke the structure. What structure was broken? A support structure. What do we expect on return? As it returns, it becomes an RS. So we have here as a resistance structure. And why did here hold? Price would have broken this structure instantly because it tapped again into another impulse leg, which is also an SR, a descending trend line. That descending trend line is a psychological descending trend line. For me, I will call it DTL. So the DTL structure, you can see this is a descending trend line. We have here a buying price, a buying market, and we had a red candle, and price continued. Show that at this level there is a support. There is a support. That was why this red candle didn't exceed this level. And when price return on retest, why did it retest? It retests because we have an ascending trend line. A breakout from a resistance structure, it becomes a support structure. Test one, test two. A test two stop price. So with this now, we can make a descending trend line, awaiting price to fall into our trap. On technical, I will hold you responsible for another retest. I want price to return into this box. Why is it returning into this box? Because it's a psychological descending trend line. It has never undergone any invalidation. All it's doing is only support structure. So I will also call it a demand floor. So price will come here and give me a demand property. Look at it here. You can see here, after a breakout from the support structure, you can see the structure has been broken. Let us change the color to black so that our mind will differentiate what we are doing. So after a breakout of the black ascending trend line, price have come back to retest. This is not a manipulation. On this level, we have a double confluence. What double confluence do we have? On the top, when you look, we have another structure, a resistance structure. Price came, respected the resistance structure, broke the resistance structure, came back on what? Support. You see it as SR. It tapped into an order block region. We have an order block at this area. That impulse came, broke the support structure. So if price is making an upswing, we expect it to respect a broken support now as resistance structure. So price return here as a RS. Now, price tapped into another ascending trend line. That ascending trend line is also an impulse region where we call a demand floor. So we are also going to tag it as a demand floor. It tapped into a demand floor. That demand floor, you can see it clearly that we have here. After price returned to this level, a breakout of this structure, price broke out and came here and retested. Here we found a support. We have a support here. And for no reason, price came here again and stopped. If price stopped here after tapping into this descending trend line on an SR level, here is also a support structure, a support floor. So we have two structures. Remember, the strategy is to look at the structure of market. We're trying to connect the structure of the market and look at what happened here. Here is a support structure. When price return, look at the weak leg. Let's take this away so that it's blocking the market. So you see here is also an SR. So let's just use SR, but we don't want to block that weak, that 2 hours rejection. I don't want to block it because it came into this zone. So when price came here, rejected and formed a strong support structure here, we connect the two. As we connect it, lo and behold, close of Friday, and I think market tapped into this region to pick another support. Why did it now? This becomes a psychological ascending trend line. Why is it psychological? It's playing only one function at the moment. But we'll keep it in mind because it held price three times. Support one, support two, support three. We're looking for an interchange. What is the interchange? A break of this support structure. I will wait for price to retest a broken support, turn it to resistance. What is resistance? A supply roof, then we sell down. So at the moment, we are now having a mid-term supply roof and a support floor. So this becomes our supply roof. So I will push price to this level where I will expect the next bearish order. I have bearish order blocks at this region. So if the upswing continue, I expect a critical reaction at this level. If the upswing continue, if they persist, if the buying spray, if the hedge funds continue to use gold as hedge, as they continue to hedge with it, I will expect price to return into this zone. I will hold their responsible. I will not change my bias. There is nothing you can tell me because it is based on structure. It's not based on speculation. You cannot speculate it. Market makers trade structure. So it's a cumulative character. So we see we continue to hold their responsible as our supply roof. So in the future, in the coming week, Sydney open into New York and into Tokyo and whatever section you have, you begin to look at price return at this level. A return into this level will raise a bearish order. Here we have our strong bearish order at this level, where we expect price to be smart after price exhibiting this character, a higher high, a previous all-time high, and a new all-time high. Now, if we are going to create a new all-time high, then we have to come here. The price is already giving a W. A W continue to be a bullish sign that price is going up until we start having an M. Whenever we start having structures like W, 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 it's not coming down anytime soon until structure start changing to M. If the structure start changing to M, like when we get here now, we usually form an M. You can see here now, if price gets back here again now, it will form an M structure and drop, double top. So it's a common price action and a common chart pattern we'll be looking at. So you see, by close of Friday, we have a structure. This is a resistance structure, respect of a resistance structure, break of a resistance structure, retest as SR. When price came, met the other block, which we got on a higher time frame daily structure, that was how we got here on a daily time frame. And the price has respected a tap into that region and dropped. That drop broke the structure, broke the support structure, and came down, peak liquidity on in another support leg. Here we have double confluence, a descending trend line meet an ascending trend line that held the price firmly. And the impulse leg return respected the structure. It respected the structure because we have a horizontal support resistance structure meet an ascending trend line. That was a win, a clear win. So that short, that bearish short was as a result of double confluence, which I will call DC. So anytime you see DC, DC is a double confluence. So the higher the confluence, the greater the probability that that is the decision of price at the moment. So this ROS level is also a DC. It's a DC because we have a horizontal structure with a dual property, ROS and SR level meet an ascending trend line with also a dual property. It played ROS, 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 break of ROS level, SR, SR, SR. So we expect price now to return to this level for another litmus test. So if price returns here, I will hold it responsible. I will hold it responsible. Why am I holding it responsible? It's meeting a psychological line to decide its fate. At this level, its fate will be tested again. I want to see what buyers do at this level. But there is a clause to it. Do we have a confluence? We do not have a confluence at this level. Confluence are usually what stop price from further upswing or downswing. The more confluence you have, we need at least 2 points showing us that this is not a fake out. At this level, we have nothing. So there's a probability that price will come here and break this structure and continue to upswing and get to a point that becomes a new high. It makes a decent sense to sell from a new high. This was a high. When this happened, everybody celebrated. Oh, gold is going to sell down. It didn't create a new high. So we can have a new high in this region. This is an order block ascending trend line. I know a lot of people have not had that before. A lot of people have not had it. It's an ascending trend line, but that is where the order block lies. And if price